going from the mind state, like what you said, when you was fresh from the operation, you're back at home, and you felt like you just wanted to stay in. Like, I don't know what was going through your mind at that time, but how did Speaker's Corner, the experience there, how did it affect you, like, psychologically?
You know, there's a link between your heart and your mind, you know. Anyone can tell you. There's just someone, for example, that has fallen in love before. They will always say, oh, think with your mind and not with your heart, you know, or whatever it is. You know, there's always a link between your mind and your heart, and they should always be in synchronicity with each other. Now, obviously, coming from a situation where I'm waking up now and I've got a bag on my stomach, and that plays with your mind. I mean, I've never had a problem with blood. I've never had a problem with you know, any kind of injuries with, I'm talking about looking at things, yeah? Obviously you feel pain inflicted if you ever get shanked or whatever it is, but I've never had a problem with blood and stuff. But whenever I looked at my own intestine, like when I had to like, I don't want to go into detail in it, but when I had to address it.
Sincere and specific, man, get into detail.
Content over everything, yeah?
Yeah.
So it would always make me feel very faint. I would always feel like I'm on the verge of fainting when I saw it. But I don't think it was as much as because of it looked gory or anything like that. I think it was because of the contextualization and what was behind it that came with it. The fact that so many elements of my life had now changed, you know. I do live alone now, alhamdulillah, but at the time I was living alone and I'd moved out to move back in with my parents due to my sickness, my illness, yeah. So that was one thing. I'd had to leave my work, that was another thing. I had to leave my network, that was another thing. I had to leave many, many things behind. You know, as I said, you know, being in the cage and being in the gym, I had to leave all of this behind, yeah? So every time I looked at that, that was like what defeated me. That was like what defined me for who I was. So it was only when I started going out and speaking about Islam and Tawheed that I just felt that pure happiness, that pure euphoria, and it filled my mind. It filled my mind, it kept me busy. And that, of course, when I got attached to it, my heart followed. You know, but with my heart, it was always initially there anyway, because I love Allah and I love Islam. So alhamdulillah, you know, they intertwine with each other and they do play their part. And I believe that, you know, of course, as a human being, you're mentally stronger when you're physically strong. You are mentally strong. But in order to have strength in your heart, you need to have a connection with whatever it is that you believe in. Otherwise, you'll wake up in the morning with no purpose. You know, I've spoken to people in the corner before, and I've you know, I don't really know the atheist argument too tough. I need to start watching Hijab and Hamza's videos a bit more, and other people with the likes of them, and about how to deal with atheists, the atheist argument. Yeah, so I stay away from that. It's like treacherous waters for me at the moment. Yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, the one thing that I always say to them is, do you believe your life is without purpose? And they'll say, well, I'm born and I will die. And I'll say, what's the purpose of tissue paper? You know, you blow your nose with it, you wipe your backside with tissue paper. And I'll say, okay, so tissue paper has purpose and you don't. So you telling me something, a piece of cloth that you wipe yourself with has purpose and you don't. So I mean, it's just about having purpose. And when I go to Speaker's Corner as well, I get that sense of having purpose, alhamdulillah. And this whole YouTube thing as well, it's very new to me, you know. I'm just going with the flow. I've always expressed to the people that watch my videos, you know, and I've said it in videos before. I've also come across to, on comments as well, I've always put down to subscribers of the channel, I say that this channel is for you. You know, this channel is for you guys that cannot come out to the park, that cannot come out and call people towards Tawheed. You're not in a situation to do so, whether it's because of time, health, place, money, whatever your circumstance and situation is, you know. And I take a lot of advice from people who are a lot more learned than me when they come down. But yeah, Speaker's Corner is all new to me. I used to come as a young boy with my dad, may Allah bless him. But I used to just sit there laughing at people who used to say that they're God. Yeah. And, you know, the likes of such.